everyone, welcome to your favorite cooking channel. Today we're going to do something extraordinary because today is our 100th video release. Yay! More cheers to us. Thank you all for the support so far. Today we're going to do something special. It's called fried aubergine chips. Yay! We've been seeing intro around a lot in different colors, in different shades. And I know most of us, we only use it for our palm nut soups, for our stews. But today, you're quite different level cry. In the intro, you're a bit chop. There's a bear chips. So yes, let's jump in quickly and let's see. So this is my aubergine, which is already cleaned. What I'm going to do is to first cut off the head. Yeah, I'm going to cut off all the heads off because I don't need those ones. And I'm going to do it in varied shape. So I have this shape. The first style I did is to do it into circles. So I just cut the sides into nice circles. Then I have my soy or colander by the side in my bowl. So when I cut, what I'm going to do is to sprinkle some salt over it. And the salt has to go to all around it, all edges. The second shape I'm doing with my cutting is to do the cube form. So to do the cube and to help me cut it properly, I just cut the ends so I could get something more square that I can easily cut my cubes out of it. The shape you want is up to you. Now the trick is that we're going to be doing it in different forms. We're going to do some which will just be just egg based for those who are dieting on their keto. We're going to do some with just breadcrumb for those who want to reduce their carbohydrate intake. And those of us who love carbo, now you know, we're going to go with the flour, with the egg, and then the breadcrumbs, which gives you a much crispier something. So the shapes you would want to do is up to you, but then just be mindful that the thinner it is, the more crispier it feels and tastes than the chunkier it is. So the last shape we're doing here is the chips format. So that's more like aubergine chips, like the French fries and all those ones. Let's say aubergine fries. So that one I cut it into a thin shapes, and then when I'm done, I just dice it back into the chips kind of style. Then of course I add the salt. So what the salt does is, intropop by nature, if it's not fresh from farm, and sometimes even when it's fresh from farm, it has this bitter taste if you cook with it. Some are okay, but some are a bit bitter. So what the salt does is that it takes out some of that bitter taste away and it drains some sort of liquid from it. It's a bit black, something when it's done. So that's the essence of the salt in there. Now, for help us with our coating, we're going to use breadcrumbs. I've taught breadcrumbs on this channel. If you have old bread or bread which has been in the fridge for a while, which is a bit dried, you just flick it up, put it in the sun, allow it to dry, and then you can just nail or mash it to get the powder. And of course, we're going to use some ginger powder, some turmeric powder. You can use curry instead if you don't have turmeric there. Salt, powdered pepper. I've got a bit of the anise seeds. I've got a bit of the soy sauce. I've got the corn flour. I've got the vinegar. I've got some flour and honey and egg. So to start off, you need to make sure that when you're done cutting, let it sit for like 30 minutes minimum. Once it sits for 30 minutes minimum, you're going to see some black juice coming out from it. Well, I've not tried with the green ones. I can't tell the color that will come from the green ones. But when you use the very deep colored ones like this one, you're going to get the black juice coming out. So once it's done, I'm just going to wash it off to take away the excess salt that may be around it, and then to help wash the black juice thing out of it. So this is one way to go about your aubergine, and it works even when you're going to do stews with it. So if you don't want to do a stew with it that's going to come out better, you could always cut into the sizes you'd want to use, and you could salt it up before you use it in your stews. So that's one trick for those who love aubergine a lot in their stews. So once it's done, I'm just going to arrange it nicely on my napkin in my tray. And then when I'm done, I'm just going to use the paper napkins just to mop out the excess water on both sides of it. Now, like I was saying, if you really want a crunchy feel, you should go with thinner shapes because If it's big and chunky, when you fry, no matter how long you fry it, it's not going to come out to be too crisp in the inside. So personally, I like the flatter ones and then the chips kind of form than the cubed ones, because I realized the cubed ones, when I fried and I was done and I was eating, the inside was a bit soft. So unless maybe you're giving it to babies or kids who don't like chewing much. Yes. So to kick off, I'm going to do it different styles. And the first type I'm doing is with the flour, egg, and cornbread. Yes, that gives you a totally crisp outside and a fine feeling inside. So I just placed in my flour, I added in some salt, I added in a bit of nutmeg in there just to break that flour kind of taste. And then I also placed in my wheat bread. I added just a little bit of the ginger powder. Yes, so your dry ginger, then you powdered it. Or you could even use cinnamon in there as well if you choose to. Now for my egg, I'm just going to crack 2 eggs in here because I was doing quite a quantity. So I'm just going to put in some egg and I add in the other spices in there. So the cloves of mint and all those ones, they go in there as well. Your preference for spicing is up to you. I like to use the local spices I'm very comfortable with, and they turn out great for me all the time. And I'm adding a bit of just of the pepper just to give it a nice kick in there. But I'll do well to add all this spice stuff down there in the description for you. So, yes, this is one sure way to go about it. Then you just mix them all up and you get ready for your cooking. So what you don't want to do is to be coating as you're frying. You won't have the time for it. And before you realize it's going to be hard to attend to it. So what you do is you coat and put it down, then you start to fry. So what happens for the first set I did was I did the flour, egg, and breadcrumbs, which is super yummy. So for that one, I just take the flat ones, then I place it in the flour mixture, it goes in the egg mixture, then it goes into the breadcrumb mixture. Now, before I place them in the plate, I was going to help fry with. I place in a bit of the breadcrumbs so that it doesn't stick to it. So what the flour does is, it's going to mop up the moisture around it. Then when that is done, it goes into the egg, which is going to make it help it bind to the breadcrumbs. And so when you're done, it gives you a very crisp, crunchy outside. Now, if you don't have the luxury of time or you don't want to do the bread, egg, what, you could just do it once, or you could just do the batter. So just the egg with the flour, with all your spices in there. Then you put in your chunks in there. So it's like you've already coated, just pick and fry, like you're doing chicken. So when you're doing chicken, you definitely put in your batter, then you fry. So that's also another way you could go about it if you don't want to use the breadcrumbs, or you want to save yourself some time, want to go quick with it. This is one way you could go about it. The only thing is because it's cubed, the inside is not going to be really that dried because no matter how you're going to fry it, it's going to soften. Yes, inside. Then the other technique is your egg base. I'm just going to add the spices as well, and I'm going to dip in the chips into it. Then it goes into the breadcrumbs. So for someone who is trying to avoid flour, you could just go with your breadcrumbs in there. So you just mix your egg well seasoned with the spices. Then you put in your chips in, it goes into the breadcrumbs, then it goes onto your plate. Please always make sure you prep them before you start frying. You don't want your oils to be heating up and you're now doing a one. You're going to waste your time and then you're going to delay and it's going to go too well. So you just fry it with the egg coating and you just make sure that you just keep turning once you see it forming well. I don't overly mix it when it's at that, else you're going to take off the coat from it. But if you want more keto friendly diets recipes, you could check my folder, the dieters playlist on this channel. We've got quite a number of vegetable stuff you could do. You've got fun stuff you could eat. Don't let your keto journey be so monotonous and boring. Yes, if you're going to lose weight with Abba's Kitchen, lose weight with cooking with Abba. Yes, so that doesn't really take too long to fry. Just do it over medium constant heat. If you do a high heat, it's going to turn brown early, but the inside will be a bit too wet. But if you do it over medium constant heat, what happens is the outside will crystallize nicely, the moisture inside will be absorbed well, and it will go out a bit more, and you're going to get a very nice result. I did enjoy this type. Let me be very honest, it was nice. Just that um, the the only thing is my favorite. Let me be very honest. I'm going to tell my favorite when we are done at the end of it. But then this was it was G. It was nice. So just in case you're new to aubergines or you've been eating it only in your soups and stews, please do give this one a try. Yes, it's one of the wildest things I've done. And let me just give credit to the one who inspired this dish, Dana Danso. Yes, he's one of those marine engineers, and because they travel a lot, they take most of these vegetables on board. And I remember one time we talking, was like, have you tried aubergine frying and all this? I was like, really? All I know about aubergine is very minimum. Usually I just use it for my soups or something like that. I've done stews with it, but I'm not really a great fan of it. It was like, oh, sure, try it and try it in the chips form and see, you'd love it. So I was like, okay, let me just go and search how this is done. Then I saw some few recipes. I was like, oh, let me give it my own twist. And I think he gave me a lot of ideas as well because it's something they eat a lot. So I was like, okay, let me just give this thing a try. It was a wild try. And yes, I'm going to give you my honest opinion when it comes to my favorite amongst all the three I did. Yes. So thank you to all the friends who have been supportive of the journey so far. Honestly, I won't be where I am without you guys. You always give me nice suggestions, inputs, things to try out, and all those ones. So yes, I'm glad. I'm also learning alongside. I'm glad I'm also enjoying this. And this video, let me be very honest, it's been like a year I shot this video. I was just a bit scared to release it because I know Guineans don't like to try new stuff. But I know people prove me wrong with this video. It's been a year I shot this, and today we decided to release it because we wanted something extraordinary for our 100th video release. Yes, so shout outs to the team, shout out to everyone. So yes, once this is done, let me stop talking a lot. I'm going to get you guys in my talking mood. Once this is done, I'm just going to take it out in my strainer and let all the oil come out of it. Once I strain off the oil, I'm just going to allow it to cool off, and then we move to the next one. So for the next one, I'm just going to fry the ones that I coated with just the flour, egg, everything, the battered ones. I'm just going to pick and then fry it in direct. I was trying to do it in a way that the excess will not come in. I realized I was struggling. But that's okay. That's okay. So we can just fry that up as well. And once it's browned, we just turned and then we just pick it up for the rest. So the same thing you're going to do for it. Okay, so there's a special sauce you can do with your aubergine. And yes, you just add your honey and your honey, soy sauce, a little pinch of salt, and the vinegar. So you just mix this up, and then once it's dissolving nicely, just add in the cornstarch, and you just mix. The cornstarch is going to bind it and thicken it up. The honey is a sweetener, and the vinegar is also going to reduce the sweetness and give you some nice texture. And when you're done, it's just going to be thick, creamy, and it's a great sauce to enjoy your chips with. And my favorite was the flat ones, which was coated in flour and then in the breadcrumbs, egg and breadcrumbs. That was my favorite. It was so crunchy and it went so perfect with the honey sauce. So when you do your fried aubergine, do well to add your honey sauce to it, and it's just super crunchy. So I see you in the next food video. Leave likes to the followers. Be joyous, be merry. Lots of love for my team and I. Mwah.